Hi there, so my name's Keith Griggs and I just wanted to talk you through my personal branding strategy. This branding strategy has been a real game changer for me, and I believe it is pretty much a real game changer for anyone, especially if they want to become the voice or the face of their own brand, because having a personal brand is it just cuts out all the competition, because if you don't have a personal brand, you're just like a commodity. And why should people buy from you rather than the thousands of other people who apparently provide a similar service or product? So that's why we need to develop a personal brand, and then get people to sort of buy into it, and then doing business with you is sort of a no-brainer, because all of us are totally unique. We've all got pros and cons, we've all got flaws, whatever, but no one can do everything like we can do it. So this is and then by developing a personal brand, we can then charge premium prices, because we've ultimately then got a monopoly. It's sort of like an incremental effect. Having a bit of a personal brand means we can charge a bit of higher prices, and also it means that it's just an easier sell because people already like you and they like the brand. So there's a lot of advantages to having a personal brand, and I have actually got hard data to prove it, as we can see. So this is my system. I'm just going to show you how to create this brand. So it might help you, if you're watching this video, to have a copy of this mind map in front of you. You can download it at keithgriggs.com/personal branding blueprint, and you can get it in Xmind format if you've got mind map software, and it's also in Word, PDF and Excel formats, and you can also download the transcript of this entire talk if you go to that webpage, keithgriggs.com/personal branding blueprint. I just think it'll make it a lot easier to absorb the information in this video if you've got it all sort of written down in front of you using the internet. And the amazing thing is, it's so much easier now and so much cheaper to do this than it was a few years ago, because of the all the social media platforms we've got, because of all the technology which makes it so easy and cheap to produce video, and also the ability to target different demographics and to retarget using, for example, Facebook advertising. So let's get into it. So let's start off with so I'm going to talk to you first about the objective, about why I can prove with hard figures that the financial advantages of having a personal brand. Then I talk about how to set it up. Then I talk about how to create videos, how to publish and syndicate them. Then I talk about the attention engine, which is how to get people's attention, which means boosting these videos to a cold audience. Then you create warm audiences, and then you have this call to action to warm audiences. And then I talk about how you can create a funnel, for example, to if you've got a webinar to sell a high ticket item, a live webinar, like the sequences you would use in that funnel, and then after that you record the webinar, and then you've got what's called an evergreen funnel, and you just set it up. And I'm sure you've seen these on the internet, where you go to a site and it says webinar starting in 15 minutes or something, or the next day, or whatever it is, and then you have to wait until, or maybe you could set it up so it's instantaneous and you go straight into the webinar. But I'll show you how to set that up. And then I also talk about if you obviously can do this yourself, like I do this myself, or maybe you think you could benefit from me helping you implement this. I know that although I can do it all now, I can just do it sort of like clockwork. I do this step, that step, that step, and it's sort of all done. It did take me a long time to sort of really work out how to do it, because each step has got all these sub steps, and then it's easy to just do other things instead, which are a bit easier, and sort of put off learning new things and implementing them. So I think if you want me to help you implement this, we can do this with a series of calls where, you know, you do the bits which are easy, and then when you get stuck, we have a call and we can do it together, share our screens and so on. So that's the end anyway. Let's go through the rest of it first. So the objective. So I've got here to create a massive crowd of hungry fans who love consuming your content, and this also gives a vastly reduced cost of advertising, as now you've got a warm, responsive audience. And the other advantage is that when you do get to speak to people, it just feels like they already know you. They just seem a bit more relaxed with you. I mean, it's really interesting, this phenomenon which I've noticed talking to people, and it's much more relaxing and much more pleasant. And also people just start approaching me out of the blue saying, oh, I want to call you, you know, I'd like you to help me and stuff. You know, that never happened before. Before it was always trying to hunt people down and say, look, would you like to be my client? I can do this for you. And then they always seem very suspicious and so on. So that's why it's a game changer, having a warm audience like this. And you can monetize it by selling them different things like info products, for example. I'm definitely going to get into that quite soon. I'm going to create, I think my first info product will probably be like a detailed implementation plan how to do this. Well, there's also group coaching, one-to-one coaching, affiliate products, and also high ticket items. So I did promise you some hard data about these audiences, so I'll show you. So this is my business manager in Facebook. So this is the audience section. So by I can create in, if you've got a business manager account in Facebook, you can go to audience page. You can create an audience here by clicking here, custom audiences, and then you can select people who've engaged with your content. So I can select, so here it's got, for example, video, and I can, so in the past 365 days, I can select people who've consumed different, for example here, 95% of my video, these are my strongest fans, and then I can choose the content type. I could just browse my different videos and say, no, I want people who like to consume this 95% of this video, or and this video, or this video, and a whole list. I've got like a whole list of 20 videos, and if they consume 95% of one of those, then this audience. Or you could say just this one or two videos. So it's very easy to create these audiences based on engagement. Now, as you can see, I've got 1,200 people who've consumed 95% or more of at least one video. I've also got an audience of below 1,000 who've been on my website, because I put my Facebook pics on my website. So that's another audience I've got. I've got 2,500 people who've watched 50% of my video, 4,200 who've watched 25%, and 17,000 people who've watched at least 15 seconds of one of my videos, which Facebook calls a through play. Now, even that is quite significant, because if I don't like a video, I turn it off before I get to about 3 seconds. So these are assets. These will last for a year, because they're people who've watched a video in the last 365 days. But obviously, if I keep on giving them content and they keep on watching it, they'll basically last forever. So this is a real asset that is worth a lot of money to me. And I'll also show you, I did a advertising campaign. So this here I was split testing different videos. This is called Ad Espresso. It's great for giving data about Facebook campaigns. So here I'm showing, I split tested these 4 audiences, and you can see here the cost per click. When I showed the same advert to people in my 95% video views, it cost 17 pence for a click. But if they were in my 50% video views, which also of course included all the 95%, it cost 32 pence click. So I pretty much halved my advertising costs by showing an advert to people in my 95% audience. So that's hard data that proves that this actually does work, which obviously, I mean, it's obvious that it works. You don't really need data to prove it. It's obvious that if someone likes watching your videos, then they're more likely to know, like, trust you and want to work with you and buy your products and services. So that let's get back to the mind map. Okay, so that's the objective. So next step, how to get there. First step is to set it all up. So create social media platforms with branding, with like a header. Twitter, I use Twitter, YouTube and Facebook. They're my main ones. Of course there are others which we'll get into. Also add pixels to your website. It's always good practice to do that. I haven't mentioned about the LinkedIn pixel, Google Analytics pixel and Facebook pixel are all free. It's quite easy with WordPress. Just make sure that every page of your website is these, and that means you can retarget people who've come to your website, and also with the Google Analytics you can get data, how long they're on each page and so on. Set up. Next step is to create loads of videos. What I do is first of all I create a list of headlines, and then I print them out. Then I go into my kitchen or some other space in my house, take my smartphone, and I just put this on a tripod, get an external microphone, plug it, connect it to my clothing. So there are three things: external mic, smartphone and tripod. And then I've got my list of my headlines of the talks I'm going to give, and I just try and spend about 5 minutes on each one, which actually the first time it was really hard because I kept on wanting to have everything written out before, but now I can just speak off the cuff, because I already know, when I crafted the list of headlines, I already know vaguely what sort of things I want to talk about. So boom boom boom, I have my list of then I have my video of my, say, 20 videos, which takes, I could do that in a day now. And then I transfer it from my smartphone to my video editing software. I use Camtasia on a PC. Then edit it to take out the gaps between the videos, doorbells, misspeaking, whatever. And then you end up with one long file with all the 20 videos in, and I have markers at each point where to separate each video, which you can do in Camtasia. Then I send it away to a company called rev.com to transcribe it. They cost $1.25 a minute. They're pretty good. There are cheaper options which have more mistakes, but that's what I use. Then you can import the transcription into Camtasia and use it as captions, which means that people can, when they view the video, on the, if they're on the tube or if they need to be quiet, they can just look at the subtitles. So I do find that's better engagement to get burned in closed captions or subtitles. And the other advantage of doing that is you end up with this big transcription file, which you can later on at some point in the future just give to an editor on Upwork.com, for example, and ask to turn into a book, especially if you've got several of these transcription files of more batches of videos you do. So and then the next step, what I would recommend is to just create nice, catchy and clickable thumbnails for these in Canva. So use whatever the size is for YouTube. I hired someone on Upwork to create these for me, and I think and then they're colourful. They have a few words of text, and they might have your image, and you might green screen or cut out the background. That's how I do it. Different ways of doing it, but as long as it's catchy and draws the eye, this is definitely going to increase your click rate, which will just make all this much more effective. So next step is to publish and syndicate. So so what I do is first I post them all to YouTube. Then I use this software called Hootsuite, which makes it easy to bulk republish to other platforms such as LinkedIn, Facebook and Twitter. And then you can also publish to places like your blog with a transcript, Instagram, Pinterest, TikTok, etc. Of course, with like Instagram and TikTok, for example, you might need to edit it down to a minute, which is a bit more work. So I personally don't bother with that, but if that's where your audience is, that's what you need to do. And it's also good practice in all of the above when you do this to use hashtags with lots of followers, create a good hook in the headline, something of curiosity, and also it's good to add a question when you post, like, oh, do you agree with this, or what do you think, and then, or have you already sorted this out, or something. And then it just invites people to comment, and if people start commenting, especially if they start arguing with each other, it can really boost the number of views depending on the platform. So the next strategy is actually a lot easier than doing all these recorded videos. So instead of having to muck about transferring them from your phone to your computer, to editing out the bits at the beginning and the end and so on, and also getting them transcribed and then posting them all to all the different platforms, instead of doing all that, you just can do a live video, and you can do this quite easily in using Zoom and Restream. So just Restream is free, Zoom is pretty cheap, and they have a free version. So you just link the two, then you set up Restream to all your social media platforms, especially YouTube, LinkedIn, and your Facebook page. You could do your Facebook profile, and they have other options as well, like Periscope and a few more. But and it is paid. I think if you do YouTube is free, so some of them are free, and some platforms you have to pay a little bit, but it's not expensive. So then all you do is you just do a meeting on Zoom, or you could just do it on your own, or with one person, with a group of people, and then you just if you enable the setting to live stream, then you can just stream the Zoom meeting, and then Restream will then stream it to multiple platforms at once. And also, in addition to that, it will collate all the messages from all these different platforms into one message stream, and you can just read the comments and see which platform they're on and everything all together. So it's a brilliant setup, and it's very easy to do. And then so once you do that, you can start a live broadcast, and of course you can do that from mobile, in a garden or something, or you can do it from your desktop, and you can share your screen as well because it's Zoom. So it'll be very easy. And afterwards of course, Zoom will, if you record it in the cloud, you've still got all your files you can download and edit them if you want, or you can just you've also got the MP3 that you can publish to anchor.fm as a podcast. So it's very easy then to have your live show, which is what I'm about to start. I've done a few shows where I've interviewed people where I've had recordings, and then I've had to manually upload them and so on. But I'm going to start doing live shows, and that's a lot of advantage. There's a lot more adrenaline in a live show. Also, and a lot of people much prefer it. Also, it's got and because of that, it affects the aliveness and the freshness of the way people are talking. And that's why, look at TV and radio, that's pretty much all live, all the talking, all the chat show elements anyway. At least it's recorded live in front of a live studio audience, and that makes it just a lot more engaging to watch. So the advantages are that it has, when you actually do it live, Facebook, YouTube LinkedIn, etc., actually promote it a lot more, because they know that people like live stuff better. So more people will actually see it because of that. Also, the whole content will be more alive and fresh, so more people will probably end up watching the replays. And also, another advantage of having a live show is that you can tap into each other's audience. So if you do a show with someone, you can they are exposed to your audience, and if they publish it on their platforms, you're exposing yourself to their audience. And maybe they've got a bigger audience than you, so you could potentially grow your audience very quickly using this method by just having lots of different people on your show. And actually, it's very easy to do, because especially if the other person provides all the content, they've got all the expertise. You don't really have to spend very much time preparing it. You just sort of really have to ask intelligent questions, like they start talking, and then you just want to just sort of explore it together, or it's like, or they're like training you or coaching you, and you could be like their guinea pig and just try and draw out as much as you can from them, and it makes a very entertaining show. And it can also have guests on the show as well. Of course, on the Zoom call, you can invite people into the call to participate and do Q&As and stuff. So there's loads of things you do, and I'm quite excited about starting doing that myself. So the next step is called the attention engine. So if you just did all that, you probably wouldn't get much of an audience, because most things now are pay to play. So you have to so especially with Facebook, people probably won't see it, even if you have lots of fans on your business page. So set up a business Facebook account and just boost your content videos. For example, each video gets boosted for £10, or we might spend £10 a day, or £5 a day, or £20 a day, whatever your budget is. And so also, when you're boosting it, do it to people who you could do interest targeting, or you already got maybe some idea of your demographic. For example, in my case, I might target people who are interested in Tony Robbins or Robert Kiyosaki or one of the big internet gurus. So by doing all that, then you create these retargeting audiences, which I showed you earlier. Then after that, the next step, you can do another advertising campaign where you do so all those were pure content, just pure value. But now, if you're doing an advertising, you can do more videos with a stronger call to action, like, would you like to sign up for my email list? Do you want to download this? Would you like to come to my webinar? Do you want to buy this product, or do you want to do this or that? And so you could just do a bit of a stronger call to action, because this audience is already warm. So just do that as a different campaign. So just by doing all that, it's just you get all these pieces working together. It just really makes your marketing and advertising much more powerful. And this is what people are missing out, and especially because this is all based on video, which is the next best thing to actually being there in person with someone, which is just so much easier to build rapport than just reading something, or looking at a web page, or reading an email or something. So I'll just show you a few more things now on my screen. So I forgot to mention this. So this is my some software called shieldapp.ai, which I just found out a few days ago. So this is for LinkedIn. If you're on LinkedIn, these are all my posts down here, and it's got great information, so I can sort by views. So I can look at all my posts in the last year, or whatever time frame I want, and look at the number of likes, comments, shares, etc. And you can see here the tags. Now, when I did this before, I didn't really do tags on a lot of these. I did on those ones, but not on this one. But tagging is great, because it really exposes you to large audiences. This one got 2,144 views, all organic. I didn't spend a penny advertising this on LinkedIn. 8 likes, 5 comments, etc. I'll just show you and also this software is great. It shows you who looked at it. 29% of the people are founders, 28% executive directors, and so on. And most of them are from London. Graphs about what time they engaged, and this was my post. So this was I was talking about Expert Secrets by Russell Brunson, which actually is a highly recommended book. But I think lots of people love this book, and that's why when they saw this, they wanted to. They're excited about it, and they wanted to talk about it and comment. So it's great to do a post about something that people are passionate about, especially if you're tapping into another audience. And also the beauty of this is now, for example, on Facebook, I could promote this video to people who like Russell Brunson, because that's a targeting option available on Facebook. So, and then this is another example on my business Facebook page. This video, what would I do if I lost everything and had to start from scratch, which I did 3 weeks ago. That cost 26. That has 26,000 views. Now I did boost this. I spent about £100 boosting this particular post. I just did it as an experiment to get data back on the different audiences. But that's an incredible. I just was blown away by the number of views that got, and that was one of the things that helped me build my audiences. So the next step is creating your sales funnel, because okay, you've got all this traffic, you've got all these people that like consuming your content, so you have to find a way of monetizing it, of presenting them with different web pages to give them your offers, to move them up the value ladder, and so on. So lead magnets, tripwires, upsells, one-time offers, webinars, info products, or high-ticket items. There's many ways you can do this. So you can ultimately the best way of doing this is to use separate software. Like I use WordPress, Thrive Themes, ConvertKit, ThriveCart, and Teachable, but it is quite expensive to have all these different types of software, and it is quite complicated to set them all up. So a lot easier is to have an all-in-one solution where everything in that one system integrates with everything else automatically. So the all-in-one solutions are ClickFunnels and GrooveFunnels. I'll also put Kartra in there. They're the 3 main. I've never used Kartra. I've got both ClickFunnels and GrooveFunnels. So the final step, so that's all the theory. The final step of this is implementation. I mean, hopefully you can just do it all yourself, but I know that I might have made it look very easy, but I didn't just do it. When I first started doing it, it was actually quite hard, and I had to struggle because every little step I had to work out how to do, and all this resistance to doing it and so on. So I kept on putting it off and doing other stuff. So I think it really might help you do this a lot more quickly if you work with me to help you like as a sort of implementation partner, to just go through all this, and anything we could either share screens and I could help with anything you had a particular difficulty with, or anything you really didn't want to do, I could do it for you, for example. So if you let me help you implement it, then I think you'll pick this up very quickly. And then so there's different options, and this might change. I might get really busy on other stuff, which non-profits, I might stop doing this one-to-one implementation with people, but I am doing it at the moment. And also any sort of type of coaching or consultancy, I'm sort of open to working with people with, because of my many years of experience and so on. Anyway, at the moment I'm offering it as like a 1-hour call, or ongoing, where you pay so much a month for 4 calls, and then if we use the ongoing, then I use special coaching software. So you can find out more about that at keithgriggs.com/hire me. So I'll just show you my website. So if you just go to my website, keithgriggs.com, there should be a link saying either coaching and consultancy, or I might change that to hire me. But so the link URL is keithgriggs.com/hire me. You can either book a 1 hour session or just a bit more information about sort of the ways I can help. And just message me. If you want to do ongoing, just contact me there or on LinkedIn. Or if you want to do like a 1 hour call, you can just book it directly there. Or just do it all yourself. So the choice is yours. Anyway, I hope you found this useful, and I hope that you really do this, or have to follow the exact system, but even if you just start getting more videos. And now the one out there, then that's going to be really good. I think that'll really just enhance your personal brand a lot. The one thing I haven't mentioned here is Facebook Lives, but that is definitely something I want to get into. Also, I'll tell you what I want to get into now. Now, at the time of filming, this is June 2020. So the three things I want to get into are Facebook Lives, live streaming, also LinkedIn Lives, live streaming to LinkedIn because I've got a big audience on LinkedIn, and the other thing is info products. So I'm going to start doing off info products. And also I've just started, I've started this sort of show on, I don't know if you've seen any of the episodes, which is on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn and so on, and also a podcast where I just talk to people and see how they're getting on, see what their ideas are, sharing my ideas, and they've just been really pleasant, interesting conversations. So that's something that I've really enjoyed doing, and hopefully I'll still be doing that in the future, but if I'm busy on other stuff I might turn it into more of a group mastermind or something like that. So I've got all these ideas for the future, but this is the basis. If I didn't have this personal branding, then I wouldn't have an audience, I wouldn't be able to do everything else. So there's quite a lot of information in there. If you want to have it all written down in front of you rather than having to sort of watch this video and take lots of notes, you can download it in mind map. You can download the actual mind map if you have Xmind or compatible mind map software, and also I've exported it into Word, PDF and Excel formats as well, so you have everything in the mind map in those formats, and also you get a complete transcript of everything in this video. So it makes it very easy just to work your way through, really absorb what my strategy is. So just go to keithgriggs.com/personal branding blueprint and you'll be able to download it. So don't forget to implement. Hope to see you soon. Bye.